let's go to running backs. And the guy that's leading the way higher, we both love. We got stock in this guy, Jeff Wilson, going against Cleveland. You got him as your RB19. That's 8 above the experts. I know I'm possibly just caught up in the hype, although kind of we're the ones generating a lot of the hype. But I really love Wilson.
We've always been a Wilson podcast, and it was so glorious to see his first week with the team. We knew he had the familiarity, Mike Daniels' scheme, and they did not waste any time getting him in. He actually out-snapped Raheem Mostert. He out-targeted Raheem Mostert. They saw the same amount of carries, and guess what? Wilson on his 9 carries went for 51 yards. Mostert went for 26. He looked better. He's 4 years younger, and he certainly looked sprier. He also had 21 yards receiving and a touchdown compared to minimal receiving output for Raheem Mostert. I think that, and that's again his first week with the team. He's only there for 4 days. Now he's another whole week to get fully acclimated. I think he's going to end up being the starter sooner than later, maybe as early as this week, because he's definitely, it looks to me, just a fresher player. And I like Mostert. Mostert still looked pretty solid. He scored himself. But to me, the fact that he came in and dominated, played over 50% of snaps right from the start, I think that role is only going to get elevated. And you always have that risk of Mostert getting hurt mid-game. If that happens, we're looking at like a 20 carry back and one of the best offenses in the league. I consider him a quality running back too moving forward with legitimate top 8 upside if Mostert goes down. And I think that's a matter of when, not if. So I love Jeff Wilson.
Also, it's a question of if he plays, but if he does, you like Zeke slightly better than the experts at Green Bay. 23, they like him at 26.
Yeah, he's been a top 12 running back his last 2 games out there. Zeke is gross. I understand it. I know how much better Pollard looks every time he's out there, but it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It matters what Jerry Jones thinks. And at this point, Zeke, 70%, 60%. And then that last time out against Detroit, only 50% of snaps because he got hurt. But this is the guy they want out there more often. They talk about Pollard only being a max 12-touch guy a week. So they're going to give Zeke some touches. Green Bay is number 31 in run DVOA by Football Outsiders, a bad run defense. So I think Pollard is a great play too. This isn't me saying I have Pollard higher than Zeke, but I think Zeke gross. He's been terrible all year. He's actually been, again, top 12 running back, back-to-back weeks. He's had double-digit points in 4 of his last 5 games. He's been solid, and he's definitely the touchdown scorer, the hammer here. So I like Zeke against a really bad Green Bay defense, assuming he's in.
Let's go to the other side. Guys we're lower on. These are both no-brainers to me, by the way. Najee against the Saints, RB30, 8 below the experts. Yeah.
I can't believe he's the running back 22 in the ECR right now.
It's insane. I think that's just nuts. James Conner, also RB24 at the Rams, 4 below the experts. Najee, a more egregious high ranking, but I agree with you wholeheartedly on both of these.
A grand total of 0 20-plus yard runs, maybe the least explosive back right now in all of football.
This side of Trent Richardson.
A lot of Trent Richardson comparisons out there, and honestly, that
are there really? Are there really?
A great rookie year, and
That's
then
awesome.
Ultimately just fizzling into the background. So far this season, fewer rush yards than Daniel Jones, fewer rush touchdowns than Braxton Berrios, fewer receiving yards than Kyle Juszczyk, the lowest yards per carry in the NFL, just to illustrate how damn bad Najee has been this year. And all the reports so far talking about how Warren's going to get more carries. Don't be surprised if Warren's featured more after the bye. And even one beat writer speculating, I wouldn't be shocked if Tomlin benches Najee and Jaylen Warren is the workhorse on Sunday. So all of that risk of Warren, who's had 50 yards on 6 attempts to 32 yards for 8 attempts for Najee their last time out, like all year has been way more efficient, Warren, on his touches than Najee. If that's just going to take over the backfield at this point, I have no interest in playing Najee Harris. And then you mentioned running, what's his name? Friggin' James Conner. James Conner this year. He scored 0 touchdowns after having 20-something last year. Was it 19, 20? I forget the exact amount he had. We knew regression was going to hit, but this hard, none of us could have expected. He hasn't had double-digit fantasy points since week 1 of the season. So, yeah, it's been real bad for James Conner this year. And I did love that he played 70% of his snaps his first week back. But the Rams have been a bottom 3 matchup for running backs this year. So if I can bench James Conner despite him being a 70% guy, I'm going to bench him. Yeah.
All right, we talked Hail Marys. Jaylen Warren, I mean, he's getting to the point where he might even be beyond a Hail Mary. At this point, he's 26% rostered. Also, Jerrick McKinnon against Jacksonville, 16% rostered. It's hard to argue with either of those guys. I think those are both great picks.
Yeah, Warren, Rashad White, the same idea that they had some standalone upside, but man, if something happens to the starters, or maybe they're just trending to take over the backfields anyways, those are my two type of preferred options. But McKinnon, if you want something steady, he hasn't had more than 10 points on a single game in half PPR. So you know you're not getting anything great, but 8, 5, 6, 7, you know you're going to get something from the guy. He played 60% of the snaps last week. He had 6 catches on 8 targets. So he's always going to be involved. He also gets some goal line work. He has only converted one of those into a touchdown so far this year, but just a meaningful player and one of the best offenses in the league. Again, the ceiling is very low, but the floor is you're going to get 6, 7 points. So it really depends on what you need, but you're looking for a desperation Hail Mary. It's tough to find somebody this involved in such a good offense that's 14% rostered right now.
Well, we're going to watch, obviously, the Bucs backfield. We want to see if Rashad can take over. He's only 40% rostered. Chase Edmonds in his Broncos debut. How ugly is it going to get in Denver? Also, Kyren Williams finally playing. Should we care? Obviously, we'll keep an eye on all three of those things. I know we just talked about how bad Najee kind of sucks, and it's not like I disagree with you. I saw an interesting thing the other day that'll kind of blow your mind, which is I saw a list of guys that were on the Alabama Crimson Tide in 2018. Listen to this list real fast. Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Irv Smith, Devontae Smith, all on the Alabama 2018 team.
What a stacked roster.
Are you kidding me? All right. This is college, folks.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. When we get those, like, could this college team beat the worst team in the NFL? That's the type of college team that probably could.
You're like, I don't know, probably.
Right, exactly.
I mean, anyway, I saw that list and I was like, wow, that's like 12. Well, not Ruggs anymore, but like 12 like legit NFL guys.
Exactly.
All
Moving
right,
on to the
wide receivers.
Now, we got over 60 of you here. I know we're sluts. We continue to beg for it, but man, we so greatly appreciate that thumbs up button. If you're here, you like what you're hearing, it does help us continue to grow. And of course, all those new names out there. Love to see you guys. And if you want to be repeat with us, please do consider hitting that sub button. We keep clawing towards 3K. I think we're hitting it this year, baby. I love what we're doing.
I think we are too. I mean, we're like actually dangerously close.
I know. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.